Hey there guys, Fave here, and before I jump into today's video topic, I must first present today's challenge. Yeah, I haven't even said anything yet. I'm already giving you a challenge. So, if you've ever participated in a high five before, smash that like button. That includes giving a high five, receiving a high five, failing at a high five, etc. But anyway, let's talk about dream items. Now, these two words put together kind of give me PTSD and flashbacks, because let's go ahead and start the video off with the classic elephant in the room if you've been watching me for a while. Now, of course, as you may or may not know, I'm Fave with 2 A's on Roblox, but it wasn't always that way. No, in fact, once I was Fave with 1 A. And if we log into Fave with 1 A right now, we can of course see that I'm banned forever, and if you know me, you know I got banned for spelling Mr. Tentacles wrong. But what you may not know is that this was on an average dream hats list. Now, I don't know if I ever explained the joke before on this channel, so I'll just do it real quick. So back in the day, they had this thing called forums where you could discuss things with other users. And so when you made a thread, there would be a title and there would be the stuff inside. Like a message, you title the message and put words in the message. So the title was the average dream hats list. I was making fun of the fact that everyone has their dream hats. And back in 2011, everyone wanted a JJ5X5 top hat, a Dominus, and of course, Mr. Tentacles. Now, a lot of you might be confused as to what Mr. Tentacles is, since it's not the most famous hat nowadays, and I'll go ahead and show y'all what Mr. Tentacles really is to modern day Roblox as a whole. So right here, for 9,090 Robux, we have Mr. Tentacles, not to be confused with Cousin Tentacles, Mrs. Tentacles, Tentacles Jr., and all the other ones on Roblox that are either off sale, limited. There's also, anyway, over here we have Mr. Tentacles for 9,000 Robux. So, oh my god, what is that on your head? It's over 9,000! Head explodes from epicness. Now I refuse to buy this cursed item. This is the item that got me banned forever with so much value on my account. And it's actually sad to look at. Now, I'm coming up on the 8-year anniversary soon of me getting banned forever, and I'm still not over it, okay? Mr. Tentacles, yeah, that's what did it, guys. So there you have him standing right there. But I made this video to talk about dream items. What are everyone's dream items? So first, let's go into a personal account of some of my dream items. So let's start it from the very beginning. So I joined Roblox at a time when they had no hats, no shirts, no pants, no Robux, no Builders Club. None of that existed yet. At the time when I joined, you could create t-shirts which just covered your torso, and you couldn't sell them to other users. And so, once they added hats though, in May of 2007, 1 month after I joined, they added some interesting stuff. And this leads to my very first dream item. So back then, this was probably just called Police Hat or something, but now it's called the Roblox Classic Police Cap. It's currently off sale, can't be obtained. Let's read the description. Join the thin blue line. With this hat, you'll be looking good, whether you're handing out speeding tickets to your fellow Robloxians or just chilling at the donut shack. So, why was this my dream item? I'm not sure. I was like 6, I think. And it was like 100 Robux. Now, back then, before they had Builders Club, the only way to get Robux was if someone joined your game, you got 1 Robux. Now that sounds super OP in today's economy, but back then, there was like 20, 30,000 people on Roblox, and the top game on the front page might have had 10, 20 players at most. So to get 100 Robux was to get 100 place visits, which was a huge accomplishment back then. But, as you can see, I own this item, and I ended up getting it within the first few months of them adding Robux and all that. So, mission accomplished. So I had to move on to bigger things, right? Because I'm not a snitch anymore. I don't work for the police. If you're doing illegal things, I'm not going to tell. But over here, we have the Italian ski cap. Now, unfortunately, this hat has a bit of a reputation nowadays for being something that, like, e-girls wear. Like, you go to fencing or the streets or anarchy, and you see those e-thoughts, and they be wearing this with whatever their outfit is. No offense to all the girls that wear this hat. I'm sure it's a nice fashion accessory. It just has a bit of a reputation with it now. But back in 2007, you can see that world-famous designer Mario Di Blocco created this limited edition ski cap with the avid athlete in mind. wear it to the slopes, and be the envy of your peers. Now, this was triple the price of my original dream hat, and this was 300 Robux. Now, 300 also happens to be a movie where the guy says, "This is Sparta!" But of course, I don't know if y'all get that reference, but that was popping back in 07, okay? And in fact, I couldn't afford this hat for the longest time. I did not buy this hat until 2009, 2 years later. And that's because I gathered up a bunch of ticks, traded in for Robux, and I could finally buy it. It still matches my style in a way. I'm always wearing all black. So from the beginning, I was a fashionable man wearing all black, okay? But, you know, I still had to think bigger, because if I got this eventually in 2009, there's still 10 years between 2009 and 2019. So think of this as like an avatar evolution, but like an evolution of my dream hats. And of course, right down below, make sure you tell me what some of your dream items or hats or whatever are in the comments, okay? So now, after I got the Italian ski cap, what was my next dream item? Well, of course, we had to triple the price once again. And let's go ahead and move on up to the next tier of my dream hat. And right here, we have the classic Roblox fedora, also known as classic fedora, but back then it was just called fedora. Now, right now it's selling really low at 28,000, because if you look at the historical graph, it's sold for 50 to 60,000. But back in 2009, 2007, 8, 9, and 10, until they made it limited, this was 900 Robux. Original price, 900. Okay? And that was a lot of Robux back then. Now let me tell y'all about how I originally got this hat, okay? So in 2009, they introduced this new feature called Limited. And so they took a bunch of old hats and made them limited. And so I owned a bunch of them because I'd been on Roblox for 2 years at that point, and I sold a bunch of them. I made a lot of foolish mistakes though. For example, the Sparkle Time Fedora, I'm fairly certain that I sold my Sparkle Time Fedora for like 2,000 or 3,000 Robux. And considering that it's worth 279,999 Robux now, I might take that as a slight loss. And of course, to talk a little more about how I was acquiring money in late 2009, we also had the Monstars visor, which is a pretty rare item now, and you need 900,000 Robux if you want to buy it. But I think I got like 3,000 or 4,000 Robux off of mine once again. And so, you know, back in the day, this was worth a lot more money, like 3,000 or 4,000 was worth a lot more is what I'm saying. And so, this being 900 Robux was no problem to me then, as once they made all this stuff limited, and of course I got scammed a few times, but you know, I bought this, and now, what would my next dream hat be at? In fact, I was pretty satisfied. Of course, if you remember my video, The Story of Fave, I actually did get hacked a few months later on 6Kenny6, and had to start from scratch, with Fave with 1A. So, what were some of my dream hats on Fave with 1A in 2010? Well, I remember specifically 2 hats that I really wanted. I don't remember the order, so we're just gonna go ahead and look at both of them. So, if you know me, you know that I love covering up my face on Roblox, and this is no exception. So Dr. Shamrock, my friend back then, owned these, and I always wanted these, okay? Now, they're not worth the most nowadays, but even back then, man, these were worth about 1,000 to 2,000 Robux approximately. And Fave with 1A was broke. It didn't even have Builders Club, so I couldn't afford these. And I don't think I ever bought these till I got rich on Fave with 1A, so these were an item I dreamed about a lot, because I don't know about you, but when I'm having surgery, I want my doctor to be a lucky one. A noble sentiment to get behind, because when I'm doing surgery on my body, I do want to have a lucky doctor. So shout out Dr. Shamrock for doing his thing, okay? Now, to pair with my Dr. Shamrock, I wanted to wear that with the Minty Fresh Fedora, which I remember the specific story. Black Friday 2010. I woke up one morning and this was sold out. My friend got it, but I didn't. 65 Robux, 700 stock. Now, of course, this is not the most expensive fedora, not even the best looking one, but back then, this was what I wanted, bro. I was feeling the way this looked, little 9-year-old Fave, and now I can't believe it's been 9 years and I'm telling this story now, but yeah, this was what I wanted, the Minty Fresh Fedora. This was wonderful, and of course I got it when Fave got rich, so in 2011 I got both Dr. Shamrock and Minty Fresh Fedora, so that's cool stuff, I guess, right? But of course, I had to think bigger. Now, once again, Fave with 1A got banned forever with a lot of items, and I quit Roblox for 8 months. I don't know if I mentioned that in my other video. So now, coming back, I somehow got 6Kenny6 back. I still need to tell that story. I had my classic fedora. I was chilling. I wasn't looking to get rich, okay? But then, I brought back my Roblox Carnival game, and it went front page briefly in 2013. The problem is, the night that it went front page, there was a ton of exploiters just ruining every server. I didn't make too much money. But, to a point, my next dream item was to think bigger. So back in trading values in 2013, my next dream item had to be one of my all-time dream items that were always in the back of my head, but I always thought it was unobtainable. But then they made it go limited, and in fact, I did own this item on Fave with 1A, but I wanted to get it because, you know, at this point, Fave with 1A was banned forever, and all I had left now was 6 Kenny 6. They didn't even have the name change feature yet. Okay, so these became my dream item. So back then, these were worth about 55,000 Robux, which is still a lot to this day. And back then, that was still a lot, okay? So I was doing a lot of trading back then, a lot of hustling, a lot of grinding. Now here's how I eventually got it, okay? So I've told part of this story before when I talked about how I lost a few million Robux with the Midnight Blue Sparkle Time Fedora. But basically, they had the very first midnight sale in 2013. I purchased a Midnight Blue Shaggy for 1,000 Robux, traded it for a Clockwork headphones worth 35,000 Robux at the time, and now I had a JJ5X5 top hat, which I just had on me, Clockwork headphones, which were worth 35k, so 35k plus 10k, those were the values back then, and I got a 10k win, traded for Clockwork shades for 55,000 Robux, and so then I was satisfied. For 5 years, I was satisfied. From 2013 to 2018, this is what I wore on my face. The most iconic Fave outfit, this was on my face, okay? The one and only iconic Fave, of course. But then, there's always been one item that I've always wanted, but it's always seemed impossible, okay? So to this day, the item that I still want, never got, never owned, well, I did own it for a brief moment in 2010, but I don't count it. We have the one and only, the eccentric shop teacher. Now, Linkmon, please, Linkmon, I will call you Ligma for the rest of time if you don't let me have this hat. I want the eccentric shop teacher. It is the rarest, second rarest, limited on Roblox. Okay, there are 4 owners. Okay, this one's Shedletsky, so there are 3 owners. This one's Merely, so there are 2 owners. Runite wants an Imperious, and Linkmon wants a lot. And this is the only item I've ever wanted my whole life. The eccentric shop teacher. Oh, it appeals to me so much. That would be my dream. Like, if I could be a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid, this would be the hat that I wished for, okay? It's like Fairly Odd Parents. I want an eccentric shop teacher. And think about it. The description really describes me. Yeah, he's a little nutty, but if you pay attention, you could learn a lot. Now, forget about the fact that Roblox made a grammatical error in the description. Fun fact, a lot is not a word. Put a space between a and lot, and your English teacher won't get mad at you. But yes, I am a little nutty, but if you pay attention to these videos, you could learn a lot. So let me know. What were some of your dream items? What are your dream items? Have you ever gotten any of them? Let me know down below. Tell me your stories. I'll read them. Maybe I'll reply to a few. Heart a few. If they're funny, you know? I'm chilling. So make sure you smash that like button. Follow me on Twitter at RobloxFave. Subscribe and hit the bell. Join my Discord server, discord.gg/fave. I've been saying that way too slowly and fastly. Whoa, in my previous vids, and it's just been crazy. So, yeah, we have the eccentric shop teacher. Hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, it's your boy Fave, and I am out.